collecting questions where your guys' questions will actually be featured in the video. So please drop your questions down below for a chance to be in next week's video. And if I did comment to you saying great question, I might use this and I didn't, please drop that same question again and make sure you put repeat question and it'll get moved to the top. I can only do so many per video. And I'm not saying I'm some guru who just knows everything, but when I'm unsure, I always like to talk it out with a few people. In the market for any type of sealed modern products, they got you covered. They got English, Japanese, Korean. They even got the Stellar Crown ships this week. Pre-order. I mean, the booster box is $109. I know people are starting to panic because it's sold out on the Pokemon Center website. So honestly, very, very solid deals. And if the name does sound familiar, it's because he is a fellow Pokemon YouTuber, which I like getting from people you actually know that have a reputation because you know they are going to take care of their customers. Use promo code PokeBeard at checkout to receive $5 off any order over $50 and you will receive a free booster pack. Definitely check them out. The links are in the description. But all right, let's get to it. This is the first question, and this is the question that helped me make the thumbnail. It's from Caitlin Hott. Better upcoming booster box investment, Stellar Crown or Surging Sparks? Thanks. I'm going to have to go Surging Sparks probably just because it's got some decent hype around it so far. We got the Pikachu on the ETB box, so we know we're getting some sort of Pikachu. We still don't know half the set, and people are already somewhat excited. I've seen some people kind of change their mind now that they've seen the last special illustration rare, but we're still getting a Latios, Latias, a lot of awesome illustration rares. But Stellar Crown does have, if it's like extremely short printed, which it's possible it's a smaller set, you know, you never know. So there's a small chance that Stellar Crown could win. But if I had to put money on it, which I am because I'm investing more into Surging Sparks, I'm going Sparks. Next question is from Mike's Pandinator 2054. Do you think the Mewtwo from Shining Legends is in a position to go up in price since the scene is basically Mewtwo in Team Rocket's lab? I love this card, and it kind of has been going up in price. I feel like this is one of the best Mewtwo cards we've ever gotten, but it was $143, which I remember this card being like 50, 60 bucks for near mint. So lightly played 106, near mint 174, moderately played 84, near mint 175. We got a near mint down here for 140, quite a few at 140, but then another few at 175. So prices are all over the place. Condition is definitely going to vary with this card. Just remember, anything a little bit older on TCG Player, if it says near mint, it's never going to be a guarantee. It's wild. But I could definitely see the card going up, especially if we do get an awesome Mewtwo card. I mean, I always felt like this card was pretty underrated for like what it is, the art and everything. I mean, it is an awesome card. But all right, next question is from @Investing with Curtis 1836. Thoughts long-term on the Shining Legends set singles like the Shining Mew and Shining Rayquaza? These singles are pretty cheap compared to the sealed product. Yeah, I agree. They're very solid cards. That's why I like to just collect. Honestly, all the cards that I think are a good deal, I'm just going to get them just in case they go up in price. Because then too, I also love the cards. So it's kind of a win-win for me. But I could definitely see them going up a little bit more. The only problem is they're not full arts. You know, that's really, really going to hold them back. There is some awesome promos too, the Lugia and Ho-Oh and stuff too. But yeah, I could see them going up a little bit more, you know, maybe like 50, 60, maybe even $75 cards, you know, a couple years from now. But they can only go so high if the art just doesn't really compare to, you know, what we're getting now. But I do love that the actual Pokemon are textured in this card. All right, next question is from @FinalGuard361. Hey, Pokebeard, what do you think about the SV2A Master Ball Pikachu? Good long-term hold in graded 10s, please and thank you. That is a very, very solid card, and I could definitely see it, you know, going back up in price one day. I mean, this was $556 in February. Now it's, you know, almost 300 bucks. Someone got one at 275, a raw at 180. It's a cool card, and it is the best card in the 151 Master set. I could definitely see it getting back to this 151 Japanese set, especially because the booster boxes got so cheap. A lot of people started it, and now the booster boxes are starting to go up. So the cards are going to start going up too, probably, and people are going to want to try to finish the set. So I could definitely see all these guys getting back up there. Next is from @BrandonLove8374. I recently got 2 Paldea Evolved Magikarps in a PSA 10. Do you think I should sell now because I'm wondering if their value will decrease when a reprint comes out? I wouldn't be worried too much about a reprint. You got to think the booster box is still like 130, 140. So it's not that expensive if somebody wants to open it. The Magikarp is extremely hard to pull also. I would be a little bit more worried about the upcoming sets. Once they get really, really popular and Everybody's chasing them. Not as many people are going to buy the Magikarp. But I do feel like Magikarp will do pretty good long term. You know, I could see it maybe being, you know, a $750 card one day, maybe even $1,000 years from now. You never know. So it got up to about $708 in May. Now it's $591 in a PSA 10. But I could see it coming down to about $500 when all these new sets come out and just hanging out there. And then, like I said, years down the road, you know, I'm not sure, but I could see this card being pretty expensive. Always had the idea, too, that I feel like the same artist should do a Gyarados card with Magikarps in the background, and it would just make this card even better. So, yeah, if you got two, you could maybe sell one. I wouldn't sell both, especially, you know, this is like a grail for the Scarlet and Violet era. We're not sure how good this card is going to do. But all right, next question is from IamGeorge.e. I've been noticing Mew EX full art from Legendary Treasures is rising up in price. Do you think right now is a good time to buy? Let's take a little peek. I do love this card. Yeah, it's definitely going up a little bit. Let's see here. Let's check the 6 month. Was 39. Let's check the year. Was 34. Now around 60 bucks. And the graph is not caught up yet. 80, 80, 80, 80, 85, 55, 80, 80. Yeah, definitely going up. I do think this is one of the best Mew cards. Super beautiful. But myself, I don't like to buy when cards start getting hyped up. I like to buy on the bottom. But again, it's not up a ridiculous amount. It's still only up, you know, 20 bucks or whatever from, let's see here, 3 months ago. It was at 45. So up about 30 bucks. If you can find a super, super clean copy, that's probably the only way I would do it. Like I'm talking super, super clean. You know, a lot of these cards go up and down, up and down, up and down. Next is from a member at John Heitkamp 4792. Hey Beard, I bought all the evil lines of the shiny starter promos from Paldean Fates boxes. Do you think these will ever do well over time? If nothing else, looks awesome to have a page of each card in my opinion. Thanks. Yeah, they're super, super affordable. They're only a few bucks each. We'll take a little peek at a PSA 10. Here's the Quaquaval EX, sold for $30 in a PSA 10. And this was the cheapest out of all three of them. But I don't see them being ridiculously expensive. And you got to remember they're promos also, so they are pretty easy to get. So promos are usually always cheaper than actual cards you have to pull. But I could see them, you know, gaining a little bit of value. I could see the boxes doing well also. Just because, you know, they got all three boxes, all three starters, and it has each, you know, evolution line too. So super cool boxes. I really like those. Next is from at Alex Lopez EE8. Repeat question, bought a BGS 9.5 Moonbreon for about $980. It has subgrade 10s on centering and surface, 9.5s on edges and quarters. Should I submit it to PSA to get a 10? Well, that depends. Like, can you noticeably see the corners? Like, can you see the damage? Because if you can, you might not get that PSA 10. But if you think about it, here's a PSA 9 sold for $810, $800, $810, $899, $780. So worst case scenario, you'll probably get a 9. You'd be down a couple $100, you know, if you got the 9, but if you get the 10, you'd be up a couple $100. So it's like 50-50. It all depends on if you can actually see the damage. If you can't really, and it's like looking super, super clean, might be worth a try. Next question is from at Tom Hardy's uglier younger brother. So I have a 151 Charizard SIR and it's perfectly crimped along the top of the card. It's my favorite card I've ever pulled, and I pulled the Moonbreon. A few people have already seen it and offered me some pretty good money on it, but I'm gonna hold on to it for a long, long time. Wondering what you think it's gonna do if I hold it for years. A lot of those era cards can be pretty valuable, and I did see down in the comments that you guys were talking about grading, whether you should do PSA or CGC. Well, if you look at CGC and you just typed in CGC Pokemon crimped, like partial crimp, crimped, like it actually says it on the slab, partial crimp, and then you check PSA, I mean, they'll grade your crimp card, but they're not giving you like the crimped thing on the label. So I'd go CGC. CGC is very, very solid. Their pristines are growing. Just wish the pristines were a little more strict actually on being pristine. That's been like my major complaint so far with them. But I will admit, I think the labels look better. But yeah, I think that card could be worth a decent amount of money. Like for sure. I'd probably hold on to that. Definitely get it graded. All right, next question is from at Chasing Selby, a member. I have a PSA 10 Eevee, number 188 from Twilight Masquerade that has dropped almost 50% from its peak. Once the card drops down from its initial price spike, What are the chances it ever gets near that price again? Yeah, it's pretty tough. It doesn't happen very often. Happened with like the Moonbreon. Not very many other cards, to be honest. But I could see the Eevee bouncing back a little bit. We got that whole Evolution set coming out, which I feel like could make this card spike up again. But yeah, it is rough. This card was $395 in June. Now it's $182. That's why I always say too, when you get those cards right when the set comes out and they're the most hyped, you know, it's a good time to sell them. Very rarely will you lose on that. I've done it one time where I've only lost, and that was the Umbreon. Sold it for $550 on release, on pre-release. And now it's, you know, a $700-800 card. So I did miss out a little bit on that, but that's the only time that's ever happened. But yeah, I could see it bouncing back a little bit. Not sure back to, you know, that price, but I could definitely see it going up with the Evolution set coming out. All right, next question is from Hugh Tino's repeat question. $1,000 to invest, leaning towards 151 UPCs or waiting to buy Pokemon Center ETB cases of Team Rocket or upcoming sets. Thoughts? Well, if you can find 151 for a good deal, I would probably try to get a couple of those. But again, they're $150 on the secondary market. People were stocking up on these things at $80, $90, maybe even cheaper on the TikTok shop. So yeah, you might have missed a little bit on this one, to where it would maybe be a little bit smarter to invest in the Pokemon Center ETBs. So actually you can get them in cases and stuff, so it's just cleaner. And you can only get them from the Pokemon Center website too, so that's pretty solid. But yeah, it just depends if you can get the 151 for a good deal. If not, definitely the Pokemon Center ETBs. Next question is from another member, Malcolm Higgins 7005. I've been keeping my empty booster bundle boxes, mini tins, display boxes, ETB boxes, a couple lunch boxes, and even some vintage empty booster packs. I like to collect them, which I know is weird. Do you think there is or will be a market for empty boxes / packages? So definitely vintage, I feel like is okay to keep, especially like booster boxes or like nice looking packs. You gotta be careful though, people want to buy them so they can put fake cards in there or crappy cards and re-seal them and then sell them for a lot more. That's why a lot of people do buy loose packs. The other half are literally just buying them to display. You know, they like the pack arts. I have many old vintage packs that I've opened that I kept. But for modern, I don't know if it'll ever be worth it. I mean, if anything, maybe like Evolving Skies or like 151 stuff, maybe. But again, it's pretty unlikely that stuff will be worth money in the future just because there's way more of it than the vintage stuff. And not many people were keeping the loose packs and stuff and, you know, empty boxes back then. So, but I feel you, I'm the same way. I kept all of my Hidden Fates packs that I opened because I opened so many of them. I have like 1,000 of them now. So I still have those, but that's all I really have for like modern stuff that I've opened besides like some ETB boxes that I use. Next is from @MiniYT. This is another Minnesota creator. Definitely check out her channel. I think she opens like One Piece and some Pokemon and stuff. So it was good to meet you at Punch Out Gaming. I hope the anime marathon is going well. Highly recommend Spy Family. Definitely a fun family anime to watch. Question for you. I completed all the IR, SR, and SIRs of Paldea Evolved. Do you think the value of these singles will go up even higher? If so, should I get some of these cards graded or should I keep them raw? But yeah, super nice to meet you. And yeah, we're getting a pretty big list going. I'm getting excited to watch all these animes. But I would definitely not get them graded until you're even thinking about ready to sell. As someone who has a lot of completed sets, and some of the cards are graded, so I got holes in my completed sets. It drives me nuts. I'm about to crack all my slabs. So definitely do not grade any of your cards until you are ready to actually sell them. And I do think Paldea Evolved will do very, very good in the future. Let me wait till the booster box is 200 or 250. So far, probably still the best set for all of Scarlet and Violet. Great question. Next is from @Zisco3307. Why do you think the UFC pumps up Sugar Sean's fights differently than other fights? Feel they pump his up way more. Thoughts? I feel like it's because it's a business. And if you look at like social media wise numbers, O'Malley's one of the most popular ones. So they're going to want to push people that are more popular outside of the MMA world also. So it brings more fans in. Plus, you know, he was on Dana White's Contender Series, so they really want that to look really, really good to show like that's where superstars are born, so more people watch that. It's all business. Plus, he's pretty entertaining. His fights are, you know, doesn't just lay on top of people. He's always trying to knock people out. He's always trying to get that highlight. So it totally makes sense. I'm a big O'Malley fan, so very, very nervous for the fight this weekend. Like, extremely nervous. Next is from @LJR1994. Hey mate, love the vids. Recently got back into collecting due to 151 and your vids helped me big time. I recently bought all 3 secret rare Kanto Megas from Evolutions in PSA 10 for around 260. Do you think these have room to grow due to being Kanto starters and also Megas possibly coming back? Cheers. Yeah, they probably will gain a little bit of value once those Megas start popping up. People are going to be very, very excited for the Megas. And, you know, a lot of these new people don't care about these older cards, but the people that grew up with these Megas, they're definitely going to want to go back and get some of them. So I could definitely see them maybe doubling in price or something like that when all these Megas drop, but I'm not sure. Next is from @Journey2115. Sup Beard, love your content. Will Surging Sparks be cheaper pre-ordered or for Black Friday? Same queue for Stellar. I know you can't say for certain, but it's my first year in Poke investing and I don't know what Black Friday normally offers. Well, the last couple of years, Black Friday has been terrible and it really doesn't affect like booster boxes and stuff. So if you can find it for a good deal, pre-ordering for like 100, 110 or whatever, that's totally fine. But yeah, the last 2 Black Fridays have been pretty underwhelming. You just get like a couple random collection boxes that go on sale and that's about it. Next is from @1958Shiner. Hey there, my favorite YouTuber. I've been collecting 151 for months now. I heard so much about maybe a reprint. My question is, should I strive very hard to finish collecting the current set because the first print would be more valuable than a reprint? This is my first collection so far and I'm probably 90% to completion. Don't know if I should push really hard to find the 151s I need, which is getting harder to do, as you know. I so appreciate your time and thank you for teaching. No, you don't need to worry about that. There's not a price difference between first print and second print for modern cards. For vintage, we had first edition and unlimited, but no, it don't matter. And we got a lot of good sets coming out to where I feel like 151 might come down a tiny bit. So yeah, it's no rush. Next is from @NastyMcMasty7706. My question is, if you bought figures and the boxes came damaged, would you keep them sealed or open and display them? Do you throw away boxes if they are ripped and crushed? Thanks. So we're talking figures and stuff like that. I always display all my statues and figures usually, unless I'm buying like a ton of extras. I'm very good at keeping my statues in mint condition. And then I always keep the box for everything, you know, statue-wise, collectible-wise, anything like that. Even if it is a little damaged, it sucks. But I have a whole shed that is literally filled with empty boxes. Very nice, beautiful looking boxes from very expensive statues and collectibles. But it's just all empty boxes and like with their COAs and stuff like that. So yeah, it does suck when they come crushed. I have a few boxes that are definitely pretty damaged, but yeah, you got to keep them, especially if you do ever plan to resell them in the future. But all right, next question is from @SqueamishGold25. I've been wondering what I should do about Pokemon Center stamp promos. Should I stock up on the cheaper ones right now since they tend to rise in price eventually? Awesome job on the amazing videos, by the way. Thank you. That's what I'm doing. I've been looking and I'm actually a little upset. Like on eBay, there's not a lot of them right now. People are definitely buying them up. So if you do see them for a good deal with that Pokemon Center stamp, I would definitely pick them up. Next is from another member @Malcolm Higgins. Hey bud, awesome as usual. My daughter pulled the SR Pheasantipity from Shroud of Fable and I swear it's a 10. Going for around 320 right now. Kind of intimidated to submit to PSA, never done it. Could you go into a small amount of details as to steps to submit? Thank you. I would check out PokeVault's channel. He does quite a few videos on submitting to PSA. He has a bunch of different kinds, you know, showing you how to do it and just a bunch of tips and tricks and stuff. So that's definitely what I would go check out. But yeah, you'll get it no problem. It seems intimidating, but it's actually very, very easy. You just, you know, fill out a few things and send her off and you're good to go. But yeah, definitely check out PokeVault's channel on that. Next is from @MichaelFisher281. Hey bud, what's your general rule of thumb for sorting your cards? Do you have separate binders with different sleeves for cards depending on their quality? And how would you say is best to store graded cards? I have recently started collecting Pokemon again, so I'm fairly new to the scene and have bought a couple of binders, but what's the best way to protect / store the more valuable cards? Also, side question, is collecting the main thing you do for work, or is collecting something you do in addition? And we also had a question from @JoeMiller NV66. How do you prefer to store your binder cards? Is a regular sleeve and a binder enough, or do you use a top loader binder or something else? So we'll answer the first one. If you're asking if collecting is my main job, Pokemon and YouTube is my main job. I also have my eBay store where I sell cards and stuff. but I've been collecting my whole life. So yeah, collecting kind of is my job. And then, yeah, I just use Dragon Shield clear sleeves. They're very nice, thick sleeves, like sleeves you could play the TCG with, and they're crystal clear. I use those in my favorite binder, which is Dex Protect. I do like a bunch of other binders also, and that's good enough for me. And then of course, you know, like my high-end sets, I have them in like legit safes and stuff like that. And then for graded cards too, make sure you never have your graded card out like raw. Make sure you get it in the sleeve. They're kind of like team bags, but they're more fitted for graded cards. They're dirt cheap. I think Platinum Protectors has some on their website. And then too, you can just put them in one of those nice cases you see all the collectors carry around. And I also don't use top loader binders because they're just a little bit too big and heavy, and I carry my binders with me everywhere, so I don't want to lug a bunch of binders around like that. Plus they're more expensive. Next is from @MrVictor3139 from a member. Absolutely love the content. You mentioned you purchased a sealed case of Surging Sparks ETBs from the Pokemon Center. Question is, how do you purchase a sealed case? On the site, the most you can buy is 4 at a time. Do you do 3 orders for 10 ETBs total and the case comes sealed, or 3 different orders? Well, a case of Pokemon Center ETBs is only 4. So you just got to order 4 and it'll come as a sealed case, much smaller. I love it. It's very compact. It's beautiful. It's basically my favorite thing to get right now is sealed Pokemon Center ETB cases. Especially, I mean, Scarlet and Violet's a little more expensive because the ETBs are $59. So it's like $260. Next is from @TopMarketClub. Will you do pack opening videos for the Rocket set? Such nostalgia, much wow. Well, it depends. Do you guys want to see me do some pack openings? I just felt like there were so many people doing pack openings, I didn't really want to do it. But I would be open to do like a Pokemon Center ETB on release, because I feel like that's the smartest way to be opening these sets, especially if you're on a budget. You don't just crack open up one of those. You're getting the 2 promos, and then you got 11 packs to chase, you know, whatever you want to chase. So we've been thinking about that. So let me know down below if you guys would maybe want to see that. Next is from @LJMJ6865. Hey, just started collecting slabs. Is it better to shop online or go to card shows? My first goal is all the 151 and SIRs and a 10. Definitely go to your card shows. I love going to the card show. Plus 2, you can just look up like the last sold or the cheapest sold on the card you want. And when you go around looking for that card, if you find it, you can try to get it cheaper than that last sold. Plus, you're meeting a ton of new people in your hobby, which is the best thing you could possibly do. Some of my best friends I've met at card shows. So, last question is from a member @ChasingSelby. Always ask good questions. Congrats on your new addition to the family. Having a 2-year-old daughter myself, what's been the biggest change in your day-to-day life, whether it's positive or negative? Well, I'd probably say I smile a lot more because she's always making me laugh and smile. But for negative, I'm super like OCD with like my time, and with the baby, you know, she's not on a legit time schedule yet, so my time schedule is all kind of messed up. So yeah, my whole schedule right now is just a complete roller coaster. Just trying to get us on a routine, but it's just so tough with the baby, you know. You just can't control exactly when they're going to be hungry or when they want to eat and sleep and stuff like that. So yeah, otherwise it's been honestly amazing. Super, super good question. I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, that was today's Pokemon What If Wednesday. Like I say before, if you guys do have any questions, please drop them down below for a chance to be featured in next week's video. And then too, if you guys could do me a massive favor and hop over to my Instagram and please give me a follow there, I would really, really appreciate that. Especially if you guys are looking for good deals. You know, whenever I see anything that's popping up for like pre-order or in stock, like we just had the 151 booster bundle in stock at Best Buy for a day, and then it was in stock at the Pokemon Center for a few hours. I post that to Instagram ASAP. So if you're trying to find like really, really good deals on stuff, definitely check out my Instagram. And then if you want to support even more, you can now join my membership. It's only 99 cents a month. And then of course, if you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a like and comment. And then I comment back to every single person that comments. Might take me a few days, but I'll get to you. And then if you guys want to watch my last Pokemon Market Monday, click this video here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.